and you're there for 2 hours, 1 week, and then 2 weeks go by, 3 weeks go by, another meeting for 2, 3 hours, then they would charge that.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Item 7. Are we gonna hold any of the paving money out till somebody does a walkthrough and make sure everything's proper?
Isn't that what we always do?
Well, it says,
We've
it
always
looks
got
like,
percent.
it looks like we're gonna pay them a lump sum, but it doesn't say anything, or nobody said anything about holding out, because I know in previous years, they've messed up, when they did the new design on the curbs. They've also messed up whenever they covered up the drainage holes from different areas where the water used to drain onto the street. They'd cover that hole up and then it would just back up. And then there's been other areas where, let me see, what's the best way to put it? Your driveway used to be above the street, now your driveway is below the street.
There's a retention in the contract, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a retainage. The lump, I'm not sure if the lump sum is the right term. We're awarding a contract in that amount. It'll be paid based on actual installation. And we hold a retainage and we do a final, inspection when we will, and we get complaints, those all have to be resolved before we release the retainage and issue final payment.
Okay.
So there's a final inspection, a reconciliation of all of the complaints that have come in, and then they still have a 2-year maintenance bond. So things that, it's still, for the next 2 years, if something goes wrong, then while they still have their bond, that can be called into question as well. So,
How did you do that the final title is held for, that inspection is done?
final inspection, correct.
Isn't it usually 30 days after?
Yeah. We usually do the final inspection and prepare the final thing, and then it'll go for the next one. So it's automatically 30 days.
Dawn, when you say they messed up, who specifically are you
I
saying
don't know
messed
what,
up?
I don't know what paving company did certain years, but I know some people,
Now,
their
you're
driveway.
you're saying that somebody here messed up
Oh,
on
no,
the
not
paving.
somebody here, I'm saying for the paving
Well, no,
project,
that's
that's
not
why.
what you said. You said
No.
somebody messed up without
Somebody
holding
messed
back the
up.
money.
You could take it as anybody messed up. I say somebody messed up, it could be anybody, it could be somebody sitting
I'm
here.
just curious as who you're accusing of messing up. Was you saying the engineer didn't do the holdback? I recall sending a paving contractor 18 months later down to Clinton Street to fix something, you know, and there was still retainage being held.
And the bond is valid from 2 years from the final inspection date. The bond would be valid for 2 years, the maintenance bond. So if there is any issues from paving up to 2 years after, we may not be holding a retainage, but we're still holding their bond.
Because I remember there was a contractor that broke a cement slab, and then they never came back to fix it whenever they were called. They never
They
came
don't
back.
write the paper.
Years ago.
He's Munhall.
Yeah, I get all complaints, I usually get all the complaints, and our inspector will handle them, and we're working out with the
What are you
contractor.
doing?
They're usually, not gonna know this,
Are you and him
punch
in
list
cahoots?
with the second to last.
That's
thing.
top
The
secret
contractor was
information.
involved by the
That's
homeowner.
not-
between two thorns there.
We had a different engineer sitting over there the year that happened.
Is that right?
That's top secret. He tell you, but then we have to kill you.
Chester was here, but we had a different engineer,
Stuff
Dan.
up that was like past 7
Yeah,
years
there's
ago.
But I always bring up about the paving project, because they did such a great job on my street, that's why I'm asking, because years ago, we had areas that didn't have dips whenever it rained, and now there's puddles, and there wasn't puddles before they paved. We called them to come back, the neighbor up the street called them to come back, and nobody came back.
Talk about the Belgian blocks tonight.
Whoa, did we have Belgian blocks somewhere? Oh, Mr. Barth,
You still
I
have that
asked you
brick?
about the Belgian
You
blocks.
still have that brick?
You're the one that had the Belgian block.
That's a long time ago.
No, hey, I'm just asking, I'd like to see the paving project done right.
Paved streets.
You know, there was some mistakes made before, so we can always go forward and make sure they're done right.
No.
Um,
It's a street so they go past
Item 8,
it.
how many different employees will be coming into the office? Is this for 1 employee, 2 employees?
It would be up to the manager, we'll see what we need,
Donna,
and what we can afford.
what we need is somebody with some skills that knows QuickBooks and knows a little bit about accounting, okay? Is what
Okay.
what we need in the office. Basically, the main thing we need in the office now is data entry, AP and AR, okay, that's what we need. And if I can get an intern to do that at $11.60 an hour, then great. Okay, but I don't know what the skill level of the intern is. If somebody from Harris, whom I will interview, 3 candidates, then I will ascertain what their skill level is from their resumes and talk to people with Carol Harris. Now, what could be is maybe the intern can come in 1 or 2 days, and maybe we wouldn't have to have the person from Carol Harris, which is a higher rate, there for 3 or 4 days. I mean, so that's what I'm looking at. Maybe if an intern, I mean, it may work out, it may not work out that way at all. But what I'm asking council is if I could have the discretion to hire maybe 1, 2, or both of them, not exceeding 32 hours a week, okay, is what I'm asking.
Okay.
At this point, the intern most likely won't, they'll probably work 2 days a week. After the first month, maybe, because they're going back to school.
Because they're gonna be going
From
back
the
to
University of
school
Pittsburgh.
in September, and so they may, I mean, Ian Lewis from the COG told me that he would be able to work, it's a big heat, all the way until the end of the year. But once school starts, I don't know.
Okay, well, Carol Harris is a very reputable staffing company. I do know they're, I believe, located one location in Monroeville.
And
I know there's other locations, but they are a very reputable one. And thank you for helping the borough out.
Just a quick question.
You wanna
Wait, 1 second, the mayor has. You kind of.
No.
That you have, wait, the mayor, do you have something specifically on this one that she was asking?
Yes, I do.
Okay, maybe the mayor.
I'd like to suggest to council that the manager do his due diligence and his discretion and call the people from the COG building who are, what do you call it? Assistants, let's put it that way. They're well educated, they're college kids to begin with, and for them 61 an hour, I think it's a good deal. But I will say, it's up to you, as far as I'm concerned. You have the discretion to decide if you want to hire and for what term. But I just can tell you this, intern belonging to the COG.
yeah, they're in the school right
Thank you, Donna.
And I'd like to thank Jefferson Hospital. I don't know if they gave 5, 10,000, 15,000. There's numbers floating around the borough on what they gave. But I would like to thank them for the donation. But I do remember a couple years ago, whenever we brought Verizon in for Fios, I did make a suggestion at that meeting that maybe we could ask them to be considered for donating the community days. So Rob, if you still have time, you might want to call the gentleman that was here from Verizon if he's still with the company.
We've contacted them before,
And they said no?
Minimal.
Okay, well,
I'm
did
not
they,
only gonna take it minimal, I mean, I don't wanna.
well, did they donate
But
anything?
it wasn't anything, that's gonna make you say, wow, this is gonna make this community the best ever, or anything, it was minimal.
Okay, but we did budget for fireworks in the
Oh,
budget this
the
year,
borough
right?
is paying for the fire,
Yeah, but we did budget in the budget for fireworks, but
75.
we didn't budget for community days.
Correct.
Okay, thank you.
There's one more motion coming up tonight too, because you were late.
I was late, yes, I
There's another
apologize.
motion, usually you ask that.
I do apologize.
That's okay.
But
The other
I,
motion is gonna be, what I'm gonna put on is motion to advertise for a candidate for office assistant at a salary to be negotiable. And that is because we want to look for a borough resident and make the Carol Harris thing hopefully only temporary.
We
So
can
we're
find
not-
somebody with the
You
skill
know,
level.
for an
that would be
office
a
assistant,
number
is
nine.
that gonna be full-time or part-time?
It's up to the manager right now.
Fund managers need.
So we need a new office.
now. Well, we'll come to that most likely, I do not think would occur. It may, I don't know, as far as the ad going into the paper, a newspaper receiving resumes, and then quite possibly presenting a candidate or two to council at the August meeting. I will keep in touch with council through emails on the resumes that we have in here. And then the way these things usually operate is that I could possibly bring three.
Stop it.
Okay.
Gets into the paper. I mean, it could work out that way as far as the timing, it may not. So, I mean, you never know, when the ad gets, because I don't know, the adopted newspapers, what, the
Valley Beer and
the
Daily
Keysburg Daily News, so I don't know what their lead time is for getting ads in and things of that nature, so I don't know what the time is.
So we're not can advertise in the Post-Gazette, or?
Well, no, you can, I mean, you can.
Yeah, but, do we have a job description for this position?
I don't